So now that this is exposed, we can actually get to some of the parts now. This gasket has come off. Where these go is on the back side like that. And we'll glue that back on for the customer before we send it out. Attention to detail. All right. So
Most likely what was causing your problem.
yeah. And that might just be dirty. That might not be bad. It might just be dirt in there. So I can get to it from behind. And there's a tiny hole. It's already responding. We're giving it some exercise. So we may not have to replace that switch, which helps me and the customer. Now, coming to the front like this is not recommended, but sometimes just enough gets in there. Yeah, it's already loosened up. I don't think we're going to have to replace the switch. There it is. All right. So this little tone board has to come out to be properly cleaned. And right now, that's all we're doing. So these potentiometers, the best way is to get to them from underneath. However, these have holes in the top, which makes cleaning way easier. But you have to make sure you get solution inside. This is deoxit. This is the 5%. Sometimes we'll use this stuff. See the needle nose point? Makes it real easy to get in there. But just a dab will do ya. And then here's where we're going to clean the volume pot. Now that's sticky. That's real sticky. So when I say sticky, what that means is it's not turning freely. There's dirt and corrosion in there. And the best way to get that out is to spray it good and then exercise it. We'll be doing that for all these controls. These switches here can be a little hard to get to. If you'll notice, there is a tiny hole. And if you use your spray, you can actually get in there and see it coming out the back. That way you know you have solution in your switch. But these can be tricky to get into. Additionally, there's frequently a small hole back here as well, and that's where you want to get your solution into. And of course, then we just work the heck out of it. You notice these are turning freely now. Just exercised and treated with deoxit. So, this piece has got burned out lamps. We're going to put blue LEDs in them. And then, so on this model, there's not a lot of room. The lights are behind this panel right here. So it's always a little bit tricky. First thing you got to do, you got to snip this wire right here. And be sure to put that back on because that's how the lamps get power. And then you got to come in at an angle, which is not great, but it's the only way to do it. You remove that screw right there. Now, be careful. These are very delicate. You break that, you're looking at finding one on a donor unit. Otherwise, because those are very delicate, so just be careful. Just think this can be worked loose. Maybe. There we go. And you got to get this in such a way that you can get to it, which is not easy, but it can be done. I've done hundreds of these. This one's being a little bit contrary. And there it is. Then it's a matter of taking... I like to use this guy with the hooks. Pull that out. Put another one back in. So these lamps over here have been reinstalled. We've soldered our wire back on. And then here is, on this model, there's a single lamp buried in over here. So we just take this off carefully. Be my trusty magnet again. There we go. And that just folds out of there like that. Once again, it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but it's not unmanageable. And then in goes another blue LED. So this customer mentioned that the dial string wasn't moving freely. It seems to be doing okay right this minute, but I noticed it earlier. It's getting hung up, so we're gonna have to do some work to this. But while we're at it, let's go ahead and look at the tuning capacitor. So we'll open this all the way up. Now, here's how you clean a tuning capacitor. Do not hose that down. We're going to put some deoxide on a Q-tip. And we're going to go in and we're just going to scrub this stator right here. What happens is that gets dirty and causes all kinds of issues. Mostly static, station's not coming in properly. After nearly 50 years, it needs a bath. This one's not in terrible shape. I've seen much worse. Sometimes that'll corrode and oxidize too. You have to be a little careful with that. And then this is an oiler. This is turbine oil. And we don't want very much, because it'll get sticky. So you just want a little bit in these joints. Just a drop. Now, if you have problems between stations with the piece making lots of noise, typically what I just did there will fix that. I'm just doing some cleaning. There it is with the lights.
$50 in monthly bill credits and auto pay discount. Credits may take up to 2 bill cycles and will stop if you cancel any lines or change plans.
Stereo light. We had to do some work with the
I'm Aaron Gaynor for